All right, ladies and gentlemen. What are you wearing, son? I don't know if you can see this. It's a Citizen ProMaster, Aqualand. I don't even know the number anymore. BN0176, I believe. Well, I like it. Feels good. It's comfortable. So here's what I want to talk about today. Choking. What does it mean to choke? What's the greatest choke of all time that you've had in your life? For me, I have to go all the way back to the early 1980s. I'm a college student. I'm in my early 20s. I'm socially awkward, especially with women, especially with beautiful women. If I'm around a beautiful woman, I can't breathe. I start to hyperventilate. I'm working in a wine store. I'm in Berkeley. I'm going to college. The wine salesman at the store is busy with a distributor, so even though I'm just a clerk, I have to help with wine sales until the wine salesman is not so busy. And into the wine store comes a Scandinavian goddess wearing a white dress, golden tan, blonde, voluptuous. She was the archetype of the ultimate goddess that had been drilled into my imagination as I was a kid growing up in the 60s and 70s. Anita Ekberg, Raquel Welch, just I could go on and on. But she comes in, she needs to choose a bottle of wine for a party. And I'm telling you, everyone, all the customers, all my coworkers who are all men, they stopped what they were doing. Their eyes were locked on the Scandinavian beauty. These construction workers who were in the deli eating sandwiches, their eyes were fixed on this Scandinavian goddess like a pit bull. So I was the dude she needed. She had to pick a bottle of wine. So I'm walking around to all the different wines, explaining them to her as best as I can with what limited knowledge I had, and yes, I was a good BSer, and she was with me for a half hour listening to me talk. She seemed to enjoy my jokes, and I couldn't believe that this goddess could laugh at me and smile at me and be so encouraging. And I was looking in the side of my vision, and I could see the coworkers smiling, and I knew what they were thinking. You, McMahon, have to ask this goddess out. You have to! Look at her! She's eating out of your hand. You will never get this opportunity again. You're on the big stage, dude. This is your opportunity. And I knew it. And I kept trying to get the nerve to ask her out. As we're talking and she's laughing, and over a half hour passed. And I was just about to get the nerve to ask her on a date. And as I was walking, my elbow hits this giant, it was like a gallon, Carlo Rossi Gallo Premium California red wine on a display case. It falls to the ground, clean hit. The glass shatters, the crimson red sea spreads on the white linoleum floor. Her feet, my feet. And in that instant, she looks at the crimson red sea and sees the reflection of my anxiety, fearful, ridden soul. And she didn't even buy wine. She just walked out of the store. Because she knew I wasn't ready for the big stage. I wasn't ready for her. I was crestfallen. I was humiliated. I lost my man points. My coworkers taunted me and mocked me for the rest of my tenure at that wine store. But why? Because I blew it. I fumbled. I choked. Speaking of fumbling, speaking of choking, I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. A team that I was rooting for. You know, I have family down in Stone Mountain, Georgia. I was rooting for those Falcons. And they, like me, had their version of the Swedish goddess in their hands. They were going to win that Super Bowl, but they weren't ready for the big stage, and they lost. And what happened to me happened over 35 years ago, and I got news for the Falcons. There's no quick fix for what happened. It's a bad scene, what happened. I don't anticipate good things for the Falcons right now based on what happened to me. Because after I spilled that wine, after I crashed that gallon jug, I didn't have a date for 2.5 years. Why? Because I was on love probation. That's what happens to you when you get this window of opportunity and you blow it, you choke. You go on a sort of probation. Partly because you lost man points. And when you lose man points, you lose confidence. And when you lose confidence, you're in the gutter. The other thing is, other men will never forget this. And they will taunt you, they'll hound you, they'll mock you. And that will degrade your confidence as well. The other thing is, now you got a stigma of being a loser. You know how long it takes to erase a stigma, if ever? It took me 2.5 years to go on a date after that. 35 years have passed since that day. I still have nightmares that my elbow catches a jug of Carlo Rossi Premium California red wine. It crashes and the crimson red sea spreads and I wake up lathered in sweat. Oh, you poor Falcons. I feel badly for you, man. Speaking from experience, man. When you choke, you fall hard and it's really hard to get back up. And I'm wishing you the best, but that's all I got to say tonight. Until next time, I am out.